Major still developing story. How do you prosecute a cold case where the victim's body has never been found? That will be the challenge for Martin County prosecutors in the case of Andrea Parsons, the child who disappeared 19 years ago. Now, Chester Price is under arrest on charges of first-degree murder and kidnapping. News Channel 5 legal analyst Michelle Suskauer joins us live. The question is, if in fact they cannot locate the little girl's body all these years later, how difficult to build a case?
Well, it's not impossible. It's certainly more challenging because certainly prosecutors want to have a body. It's one of the most important pieces of evidence, obviously, in a murder case. But there are other ways to build it. Other ways would be by forensic evidence. Confessions alone, if there was a confession, which again, we don't have the police reports, we don't have the probable cause affidavit, but forensic evidence, witnesses, and so those are going to be very important pieces, and they can build the murder case. It's been done before many, many times.
Michelle, we underscore this next question, speculative, because you're right, we don't know. They said that we've got to keep everything tight to the vest, but without the body of this little girl, one has to assume it's something somebody said, i.e. a confession. Would you at least lean that way in your thinking at the moment, or not necessarily?
Well, certainly something had to spark this renewed investigation. So it wasn't just something, I'm sure that they're working on this cold case for all these years, but something had to have happened.
Looking at his first appearance today, by the way.
Right, and he's still, obviously he's being held no bond, so he's not going anywhere. But something had to spark it. So whether it was a confession which led to the collection of forensic evidence, but he also testified before a grand jury, which has now convicted him.
Briefly, I want to ask, his partner 2 decades ago, as described by authorities, Claude Davis,
yes.
He's arrested on false imprisonment charges. Later, that's tossed. Can he be tried for murder? There's been a big legal debate today about whether that's double jeopardy and that whether or not he can be brought back into the case.
Well, according to the chief assistant state attorney up in Martin County, he says no. And the reason why is because the state attorney's office way back when, back in the 90s, prematurely charged him. Wasn't ready with their case. Basically what happened was the time ran out, speedy trial ran, because you're entitled to have a speedy trial, and that's it. They're saying double jeopardy has attached. He can't be charged again. Will we see him be brought in as a witness in this case? Very likely. Could happen.
And we're speaking Claude Davis. Chester Price now in jail on first-degree murder and kidnapping charges. We know you'll be with us all the way as we analyze the ins and outs of the cases. Michelle Suskauer, thank you so much. Kelly?
Sure.